The teenage girl that was at a pool party in Texas, I believe, and she was like in her bikini and she was outside, and like cops got called in the middle of the day. And the cops showed it. I don't think they shot her. This particular one. There's
so many. It's hard to keep track. This reminds me of the United flight. Yeah. My point about the United guy is this guy was Asian, right? And I made a joke like if a person is wearing a black suit, you know, it's difficult to imagine anyone wearing a suit, a dark, fancy suit, being dragged into the middle, you know, and through the aisle off the plane. It's just, picture that, you know, oh, I got a suit and tie and black. But if I was wearing a white suit, literally a white suit, looking like John Travolta, it's easier to imagine dragging that guy off because you think he's some kind of sleazeball or some kind of Miami Vice 80s hipster. And you're like, this guy's a jerk. I'm going to pull this guy off the plane. Why is that? Because of perception. And coincidentally, the colors are reversed, right? It's perception. So what if I'm wearing a natural suit? A natural suit of color. My suit isn't colored, but my skin is. It's easier to imagine dragging someone of darker skin or who's Asian or who's non-white and through the middle of the aisle, even though he's a freaking doctor who wants to get to his patients the next day because he's Asian. But if I'm a white guy, it's more difficult to picture dragging him down the aisle. Sir, you know, I know you have some concerns. Let's talk this down. I'm not going to shoot you in the head because you're not a passenger. I'm going to talk you down and we're going to work through this.
There must be something really wrong for him to act that way.
Yeah. It's just, it's crazy.
If a white guy gets shot by a cop for no reason, that's going to make the news. But how often do you see a white woman get
All right.
And I can't think of a white woman being arrested for being loud in a bikini at a pool party when she's a teenager. That's ridiculous. Everything's
perception. Everything's perception, and we got to get beyond this concept of race. We got to understand these are socio-economic created problems. And Bernie Sanders knows this.
And people are like, well, you know, black women are more aggressive, assertive.
Yeah, but it's not even that.
But
it's not even that.
A white woman could do the exact same thing, and that would not happen.
The point is, if you and I've said this before, if you put a white person, a white boy or a white girl or a black boy, or black girl, Asian, you know, whatever, you put them in the middle of the woods, and they're surrounded by wolves, right? You know, in the romanticized version of that, they're going to turn out to be like Tarzans. They're not communicating. They're one with nature, and they're able to speak to the animals. Why is that? Why is that all of them are going to be that? Because of their environment, because of their culture. When you think about ghettos, when you think about these impoverished communities, people just change the narrative to, oh, look, there's black people there. Okay, but all the Hispanics and all the whites and every other race in that same exact community act, communicate, are the same way because of the same structural and cultural foundation. So we just don't focus on that. We go, it's a black thing. It's a cultural thing. It's a social economic thing. It's how you're raised. All right. You put Paris Hilton in the middle of the woods, she's going to be acting like a wolf. Okay. You know, romanticized. You put her in a ghetto for her entire life. She's going to be talking and acting and walking and thinking and hoping just like all the other people who are not her. Okay. And we know this because people come up with these funny little things and they end up on Dr. Phil. Oh, she's a wigger. Why? Because she was raised in Beverly Hills? No, because she was raised in the same socioeconomic community as all the other races. So this concept of race is sort of stupid. You put any race in Harvard, give them a scholarship, free education, free college. God, who proposed that? Yeah, I'm gonna vote blue. Or whatever, but in any case, you put them in the same community access as anyone has, and they're going to come out with the same opportunities, the same reading levels, and everything else. But we got this dumbed down system. It's all ridiculous.